What time is it?
20 of 3.
Okay, so let's do one more segment and then I want to read a little bit, okay? So here we are at the turning point, girls. What, if you guys raise your hand that you have a sponsor, who did? Raise your hand again. Okay, what step are you on?
The first step.
What step are you on?
Back to 1.
Step 1.
3. Without change my sponsor.
Okay, step 3. Okay, that's what we're going to talk about. So what does step 3 say? And it doesn't matter what program you're in. Step 3 says the same thing. Okay? We made a decision to turn our will and our lives, 2 things, over to the care of God as we understood Him. Okay? So what are they talking about? We made a decision. Who wrote the book? I'm not part of that we. It's the first 100 people that wrote this book. They found a way out. It's not an opinion. These are facts from their experiences of how 100 of them recovered. We made a decision. Okay, so that's like, we stood at the turning point, we looked over, it's going to be all or nothing. What do you see when you look down? Nothing. That's a huge leap of faith we need to take, right? Bill Wilson's a genius, by the way. You know, we like options. Don't tell me what to do, right? I can't tell you what to do. You can never tell me what to do. But give me options. I like options. It's not let's make a deal, though. Okay? This is important. There's no door number 3. So all or nothing. We stood at the turning point. Half measures availed us nothing. 0 plus 0 is still 0, right? So walking the fence, if any of you are still walking the fence, we need a jump. It's going to be one side or the other. Right? Well, I don't know. Let me think about it. I'll get back to you. I got a plan. You don't understand. I got to get back to my job. I'm not staying here the whole 6 months. I got it all worked out. Where I'm at, it's 28 days. But I'm only here for 2 weeks. I got a job, a car, my baby daddy waiting for me. They're making their plans, you see? If we could relax, be patient, the best plan is God's plan. So this little bit of time, this itty-bitty opportunity will afford you a life beyond your wildest dreams. And it's not because you could have all this money and this handsome husband and 3.2 kids and a dog and a fence and a Lexus, right? We're gonna have peace of mind. It's a higher level of consciousness we're looking to get to. All these other things are not going to bother us so much anymore. We're so botherable. I wish I could remember what Russell Spout says. Where, I forget what he says. But we're botherable. We're irritable. We're restless. We're discontent. Unless we can experience the ease and comfort that comes with taking the first one. I drink because I like the effect. Doesn't work for me anymore. That's been long gone. You too? Whatever your drug of choice is, you could take a lot of them. They ain't working anymore. Matter of fact, they're killing you. You know? To get back to a day that's gone. It's gone. But we're set up in the mind to chase the reward. It's a habit. Gotta chase the reward, gotta chase the reward, gotta chase the reward. We're hamsters on a wheel, exerting energy, and we're going nowhere. So here we are at making a decision. Now, I can't make this decision for you. Your sponsor can't make it for you. Right? But we can give you the facts. Just the facts, please. We made a decision to turn our will and our life. Two things, our will and our life. Our thoughts, our actions over to the care of God as we understood Him. You just came in. We don't even expect you to understand much. Right? And I started off by telling you, here's the challenge. That God is offering you a unique way to fire yourself and hire a new manager. You know, you guys are girls. I mean, my sponsor's a guy, I get that. But a lot of his examples, you know, they're like guy examples. So, what does he say? If there was a team of baseball all summer, and they had a manager but they had 0 wins the entire summer. No wins, all losses. What does the team usually do? Fire the manager. That made sense to me. But since I'm the actor, the producer, the arranger, the manager, the light person, I write the play, I arrange the actors to be, you know, and I want the play to go off well, and it never does. I literally had to fire myself. Does that make sense? In the beginning, literally, I was like, Really, you know you can relate to this. It wouldn't stop. And it was my own voice. My own voice. And I was like, shut up! Oh my God, I couldn't stand me. And then I'd go to sleep and I'd be like, anything. I was trying anything, just let me fall asleep. I'd catch a few hours sleep. I'd wake up and it'd be like, It didn't even stop. Ever. It didn't give me a break. I couldn't even get up and go pee. Same friggin' situation. The worry, the remorse, the anger, the fear, the anxiety, the depression, the resentment. It got to a point where I would go in my backyard and scream at a tree. I couldn't scream at anybody else anymore. They were done with me. Everybody was like, didn't even want to hear me anymore. I'm in nature, you know, so I was like, just shut up, you're fired, Gina. I was being invited into God's kingdom. That was the challenge. How do we reverse this selfishness? If alcohol and drugs are only a symptom of the problem, because we know that when we put them down, life isn't rosy. Matter of fact, life is the same, and we get uncomfortable, and we go back to using. Is that right or is that wrong?
Absolutely.
Okay? So, how do we get to that place of surrender? How about being thoroughly convinced? How about no longer being confused about what drugs and alcohol does to your life every time? How about it's not the drugs and alcohol? How about after that it's shopping? How about after that it's overeating? How about after that it's men, babies, moving, Lexus, now I want a Beamer. Right? Big shot. Well, let me tell you, we could come in as a big shot. I promise you, the best you can hope for is to be a servant of God. That's the best you can hope for. The root of all this, selfishness. Selfishness. Here, this is it. Self defeats you every time. The revolving door of ego deflation is 12 steps. So we talked about a moment of clarity versus a spiritual awakening. A lot of us have had a moment of clarity, right? Walking the street, smoking crack, this has to stop. I can't go on like this anymore. I can't live. I have nowhere to sleep. I'm gonna die. I have nothing to eat. My kids are gone. I'm getting beaten. I'm being left on the side of the road for dead. Nobody cares. This has to stop. I can't go on like this. Moment of clarity. Then we get in here and we talked about what happens. Get little, that ego is reconstructing his growing arms and legs and a brain in your own voice. Edging God out. Taking credit for successes that are all the glory is God's. All the glory is God's. There's a difference between a moment of clarity and a spiritual awakening. Maybe you're not there yet. And you're like, how do I get there? But I'm trying to help you get there. We gotta wake up our spirits. Once you I'm gonna speak for myself because I don't know if this is necessarily true, but I feel like, and I don't always give my opinion, but my observation, I can say that, right? We're in the minority. People with a spiritual awakening are staying sober. They're not having 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 12 years, 17 years, 20 years, and picking up. Ain't happening. It's not happening. Our spirits are awake. We're very aware. We're in tune. Recovery is not static. There's no isolation in recovery. You ever drive in a car and your favorite song is on the radio and it's, pretend you have that old car, like I do, and you're like, I gotta get that in. I can't hear it. I love it. I love that song so much. It's really staticky. But that's how it is at the steps in the beginning. And then I get it. And my favorite song is on. I'm like, oh my God. That's my connection with God. And it's clear and it's open and it's there. The goal of recovery is never to use again. Because we can never safely use drugs and alcohol in any form again, can we? That's too much for some people. Never? No, I understand that. Like the obsession to use and drink has been lifted from me, but I got to that spot. The philosophy of the fellowship is we do this 1 day at a time. Sometimes it's a minute at a time, girls. Sometimes it's an hour at a time. It takes practice to walk with God all day long. It's not an overnight matter, right? But what happens is the stuff that we're going through starts to become glaring. And it won't leave you alone. So now you're aware of it. You're angry. You're resentful. You're worried. You're in fear. We pause. We talk to God. We pray. We communicate with God. Right? Meditation not always means you're comfortable. God's going to put you in a position where He needs you. Recognize the fact that you're there because you're supposed to be there. Not always because you're going to be comfortable. God's not interested in your comfort. What is He interested in? Your character. Does that make sense?